Rio! Hi, Rio! Hi, look at you. You ready? Yeah, I know you were real excited, huh? What's up, dude? Okay, let's go.
What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share this video if you like what you see. Today we are going to be working on Rio. He has not been groomed in a very long time because they were struggling to find a groomer that was willing to work with him because he does have some challenges in some certain areas. But we were able to figure some things out and get him looking cute. Before we get into this video, I do want to stop and thank every single last one of y'all for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. I finally did it. And I appreciate every single last one of you guys. You all are amazing. I love you for the continued support and just watching my videos and listen to me ramble. But without further ado, let's get straight into this video. As you guys already know, we are starting off this video with his prep work. So we're going to be doing his paw pads, his nails, his sanitary, and then we're going to take him to the bath. I know what you guys are thinking, why am I not shaving him if he has some mats? Well, for a dog that hasn't been groomed in a long time, as I stated in one of my previous videos, I noticed that they have skin issues, so I like to wash them first so I can see what I'm working with. And then also washing them and blow drying them will also separate the mats from the skin, so I'm able to get a longer blade through them. And I was able to get a 4 on him, but I do believe I did a 7 on his elbow because that was really tight. Now, when the dad dropped him off, he did explain that they have taken him to other groomers in the past and they weren't willing to work with him because of his behavioral issues. So I asked the dad, well, what's going on with him? And he just explained that he's a very hyper and happy dog, and some groomers haven't been willing to work with him because he is too hyper and too happy. Now, I don't understand that because a dog can be hyper and happy, but as I've stated in other videos, if you have control of your table, you can get the dog to calm down. Now, you see here, he doesn't like his nails done. He was not a fan of that, but talking to him, just explaining to him that you're okay, getting it done. When he freaks out, I stop, let him calm down, and I go back at it so he realizes he's not being hurt. Now, at one point, I do hold the e-collar and talk to him like, listen, you gotta calm down, dude. You gotta calm down. It's really not that bad, because I think he just got a little too out of hand. But if you are able to control your table, you're able to calm a dog down. So I don't understand when groomers say they're not willing to work with the dog because he's too hyper or too happy. That's the whole grooming process, working with the dog so the dog can build a relationship. See, right there, I'm talking to him. So the dog can build a relationship with you so he can understand the process and he can respect you and trust you basically with his life, because when you're working with sharp objects with dogs, so when they're hyper and happy and they're moving around, maybe he doesn't trust you, maybe he doesn't understand, maybe he's scared. And after grooming him, I did realize that his issue wasn't that he was hyper, he was very anxious. He was very anxious and he did not understand anything. But you'll be able to see once I actually started his haircut, he calmed down. He calmed down a lot. So I explained to the pet parent that I'm willing to work with him, and sometimes it just takes one groomer to take time and understand the dog and work with the dog. So I really don't understand the whole groomers not wanting to work with the dog and declining that they want to work with the dog. I don't understand that. Because for me, that's why we got into this business. We got into this business to work with dogs because we love dogs, to help them, to make them look cute, to get them more comfortable when they come in with mats. So, I don't know. I can't really speak to the groomer because I don't know the groomer. I don't want to talk down on the groomer because I don't know the exact situation. So for me, I know there are groomers out there like that. So it's sad and disheartening. But jumping into how he did for the whole grooming process, he doesn't like to be in the kennel. He does not like to be in the kennel at all. And really, he's anxious about his front feet and maybe a little bit of the blow dryer, but for the most part he actually did okay. I just had to treat him like a puppy because his behavior just showed me that he was almost new to the process. He's been groomed before, but he was new to the process. Now, when he came in, the dad did say that he wanted to keep him long, but I did inform him because he had mats, I did have to take him down, but I would wash him and blow dry him first just to kind of see what length that I would have to do on him. So I gave him just a roundabout rough area of what I may or may not be able to do on him. I said best case scenario, I'd be able to do a 4-blade. Worst case scenario, I would have to do a 7 all over, because again, like I explained to everybody, nothing is guaranteed. So yes, you can get the conditioner and I can let him sit in the conditioner just to see if the mats will break apart and separate away from the skin, but there's no guarantee that it will. Some matting just will not budge. But what I recommend for people is to always try. And for the groomer, always try. See if you can do it. Test your skills. If you honestly really feel like you can't, like if the dog is pelted, obviously you have to shave the dog first. But when I examined this dog, he wasn't pelted. Some of his mats were actually fairly loose. The tightest mat that he had was on his elbow, and like I said, I had to take a 7 under that. But other than that, everything went through smoothly. The 4 went through just fine on his body. So that is why when I teach new groomers or new bathers who want to learn, always test your knowledge. Don't stay complacent with what you know. Always test your knowledge and test your skill level to see where you can grow. Yes, it's going to be challenging, but you have to challenge yourself in order to grow and get better. If you stay comfortable for the rest of your life, you'll never grow. It's called growing pains for a reason. I say that all the time. In order for you to grow, you have to get uncomfortable sometimes. So sometimes it's worth pushing yourself. I was working with a group of girls, and I'm coming in as a new person in the group, and I'm teaching and trying to push these girls to do better. And of course there was pushback. There's always pushback when you go to a new salon and nobody is willing to change because they're comfortable where they're at. So I always ask everybody, anytime I'm training somebody, I ask them, if you could set a salary for yourself, what salary would you like to set? And they say, okay, well, I would like this. I'm like, okay, well, why is your salary so low? Well, I would like something higher, but it's not possible. Why is it not possible? Why is it not possible for you to go out and get what you want, for you to go out and make what you want, for you to push yourself and get what you want? Well, needless to say, after a while, they push themselves and they're making great money now. Great money. And I'm never a person that needs thank you. I like to see the progress in people. So I think it's awesome when I see people develop and do better, because that's what you deserve. New groomers, never doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Always go with your gut instinct. If you feel like it's your gut instinct, you're grooming a dog, if you feel like you can get a blade under there that everybody is telling you, no, you can't do it, no, you can't do it, test it. The worst that can happen is you get a shorter blade through it. But never promise an owner that you can do something if you're not sure. You give them options. Let them know, we can go this route and I may or may not be able to get this longer blade. If we don't go this route, you have to get this. Give them the option, give yourself the option, so then you can reevaluate, test your skills, and now you're growing. Now you're exploring the options that you can do. Okay, now that I'm done with my rant, little motivational speech there for new groomers and current groomers. Current groomers, you can always grow. You never know everything in the world about dog grooming. You never know everything in the world about dogs. So you can always grow. Okay, that's the end of my rant. But getting into his haircut. So like I said, I'm doing a 4 on his body, and the clippers, as you can see, is going through very well besides on his elbows, but everything else is sliding through his body like butter. I was very proud that I opted to do the conditioner on his body, and I was very happy that the owner did, because I knew it would work. Sometimes as a groomer you can just look at a dog and tell that something's going to work. So right here there was somebody in the lobby and again, he gets really excited when he sees people, gets really happy. So I had to redirect his focus and then cover his eyes. But at the end, I just had to put him back until they checked in, and then I brought him back out. But getting back to his haircut, I am actually happy that the owner opted to do the conditioner. Sometimes for owners watching this, it makes the groomer smile on the inside and make us feel all warm and fuzzy when y'all listen to us. Because believe it or not, there are some people that come in and they do not listen to us. Oh no, they don't want that. Are you sure? That I just feel like you're trying to get more money out of me, and we're not. Honestly, we're trying to give you the best options that you can. So if you have a dog and you bring the dog in and the dog is matted, and they're explaining, okay, we'll get this conditioner, it'll help break apart some of the mats, and I can possibly get a longer blade through it. Listen to what they're saying. That groomer knows what they're talking about. That groomer knows what they're talking about. Now again, I've worked with some groomers that will just shave the dog. They just shave. They love shaving dogs. That's only what they want to do. If you get a groomer that is willing to give you options, that groomer knows exactly what they're doing. Stick with that groomer. Now on his face, he had some mats around his muzzle that I was able to demat because the conditioner worked a lot and did a lot of the work for me. It loosened up some of those mats, and then with the blow dryer it was able to separate it a little bit further from his snout. Now prior to me washing him, the mats on his face weren't tight, just in general, they were just loose mats. You can tell that he may have had food in his mouth that he was scratching at, and that's where some of the mats came from. Now even though I was able to brush the mats out on his muzzle and the ones in his face, I still had to take his face tighter because I took his body shorter. So never leave a long face with a short body. You do not want the dog to look like a bobblehead. New groomers, people at home trying to groom their dog, I know it's cute when they have the big old fluffy face, but when the dog's body starts to grow back in and then the face is matted, you'll know you should have taken the face shorter when you were grooming. That's why I don't leave faces super long and the body super short, because one, it looks disproportioned, and I was taught to make a dog proportioned, and two, the dog's just going to come back with the face matted because it's going to be too long for some owners to maintain. So, as you all know, new people, thank you for subscribing. But for the most of you, you know I always have a topic. So today, I do want to talk about the loop that we use to restrain the dogs, because I know some pet parents have an issue with that. So I do want to talk to y'all about that. So let's hop right into that. So I put a short up on my channel, and it was of me grooming a puppy, and I was doing the puppy's nails, and the person in the comments stated that the grooming loop was too tight. It wasn't tight. The puppy was pushing himself back, so it looked tight, so I would move him up and push him back. Me adjusting the dog's loop a few minutes ago on this video made me think about that. This is not going to be a long topic, it's just going to be real quick. I may even hop into something else after I'm done talking about this. But what I want to say to that is, we are taught to keep the loop at a certain tightness, but still able to have some wiggle room, if that makes sense. The reason why you can't have a loop just kind of hanging and the dog can kind of go all over the table is because it gives that dog too much leeway to back up off the table. So for instance, this dog, he will pull himself all the way to the extension of the loop where it is extremely tight and he's choking himself. And to be honest, a lot of dogs do that. A lot of dogs will literally choke themselves out on a table just to get you to stop doing what you're doing. Does it ever work? No. Usually they figure it out, back it up. But this dog, again, because he is treated like a puppy, he's new to the process, I have to constantly back him up. So that's why I put the loop around his chest, because I noticed he just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. So I'm like, okay, well, you're not going to choke yourself out. Let me just help you out. So I put that around him, and to be honest, I feel like after I did that, he did better. Yes, he's trying to lay down, but but he did better in terms of not really forcing himself to the very end of the loop. So when you see a dog's loop and you feel like it looks really tight, most of the time it's because the dog is pulling at themselves on the loop, because they're trying to get you to stop what they're doing. There's a lot of dogs that'll just stand there while you're grooming, but the majority of them pull and try and choke themselves. It's not funny, but it's like, dude, what are you doing? Don't you realize you can't breathe? And they don't care. They really don't care. Sometimes trying to understand a dog's logic is a little tricky, because you're like, okay, are you really going to keep doing this? And he's like, I'm really going to keep doing this. So a lot of the times we actually do try and work with the dog and try and fix it so they're not choking themselves. But there are dogs that will just keep doing it and just keep doing it. Like there is this one dog, it's German Shepherd, and it comes in that salon a lot. And as much as you try and stop her, she will continuously throw herself off the table. So it got to a point where we had to discontinue services because the dog was going to hurt themselves. And speaking on that, if ever a grooming salon discontinues service, it is for the best interest of the dog. I cannot tell you how many times people lose it on the groomers when we tell them, or even the bathers, when we tell them, hey, you can't come back, but it's not because of you. It's not because the dog is bad. It's just the dog really stresses out here. Your dog really stresses out and your dog is going to hurt himself, and we don't want that to happen. So I think it's best if you go and try X, Y, and Z. And we've had so many people lose it. And I just want to explain it, because when your dog comes to a setting, a corporate setting like that, and your dog is stressed out, overly stressed, trying to hurt himself and will possibly injure himself or get cut, or is trying to injure himself, we have to discontinue services. We have to. I had a groomer get bit by a dog and the owner blamed the groomer. She said, well, she must have did something to piss my dog off where my dog would bite you. I said, ma'am, I watched the video. She was only trying to clean the sanitary and your dog bit her. No, that's not possible. That's not my dog. Me being a pet owner, loving my dogs, I understand completely that my dog acts one way at my house and my dog acts a whole nother way at the grooming salon. Like my dog Bella, our little YorkiePoo, she is a little snot. She is the boss. She is the guard dog. She is a tough guy at home. But in the grooming salon, shaking like a leaf. Shaking like a leaf. Now, don't let me groom her. Then she growls and snaps, but it's because she's comfortable with me. She knows she can do that with me. But if I take her to someone else to get groomed, she is a complete angel, because we've had somebody else groom her before and I asked them how she did. Now, they could have not told me the truth, but I honestly think he did. And he said, no, she was great. I said, even for her feet and her face? And he was like, yes. She was perfect. She didn't give me any issues. And I'm like, you sure we got the right dog? Because she doesn't like her face being touched. She doesn't like her paws being touched. And she snaps for it. Never really to try and harm you, but just like a get off my foot. And he was like, no, she was great. I was so shocked. So shocked. I was like, okay, well, she can come back. But I said all that to say, it, don't think that the groomer is just talking bad about your dog. We're not. We're just trying to do what's best and what's safest for your dog, so your dog does not get injured in our care. And also understand that you can train your dog so well and your dog is perfect at home, but when they get into a grooming salon, that is a different situation. They become fearful if they don't know who they're dealing with, if it's a new situation for them, a new environment for them. So understand that they may not act the way that you train them, or they may not act the best. Sometimes they do show out in the grooming salon because they feel like they can, and they try and be the more dominant one. That is so common in the grooming salon. So common. So just understand that we're not trying to say your dog is bad. We're not trying to say you have a terrible dog and, this can't happen and that can't happen. We are just trying to do what's best and what's safest. And speaking for every groomer in America and out of the United States, please stop telling us how to do our job, because our job is not easy. It is not easy at all. We are dealing with live animals that move around and jump and dance and do all of this, and we have to deal with sharp objects with all of that happening. It's like giving a full body haircut to a toddler. That's how it is grooming a dog. It is tricky. It's very tricky, and it can be challenging sometimes. As you can see from this video, he moves around a lot. He is very anxious, but he's calmed down since he first got in, if you can notice, but he does move around a lot. So dealing with that and dealing with scissors and having to cut around their feet and the paw pads are sensitive. It's not an easy job. So we struggle with it as it is. I can promise you, every groomer has had a day where they say, I don't want to be a groomer anymore. And if they tell you that they didn't, they're lying. Every groomer has had a day like that, because sometimes it's just one of those days. But trust the process. Trust the groomer. Find a groomer that you love and trust that groomer, and understand that they love your dog just like you love your dog. Even when some dogs get on our nerves, even when some people get on our nerves, we still love the dogs. We would never harm a dog. Well, I cannot speak for everybody, because I've seen some videos of groomers harming dogs and I'm ashamed for them. The majority of us will never harm a dog, I will say that, because I can't speak for everybody, because like I said, I've seen some videos that are very questionable. But with that being said, we are winding down to the end of the groom. As you can see, his haircut is coming out very nicely. He is such a sweet boy. He just was so nervous. He was a nervous little boy, and I was very happy to make him comfortable where he was okay, because look at him just standing there while his little face. Why you side-eyeing like that? He's so cute. He actually looks like my dog Bella, which is funny because she's the exact same color as him. So but now we are going to take a quick flashback look at his before, and oh my god, look at him. And now it is time for his after. It is not my favorite haircut, I will say that, because I like a longer haircut on a lot of dogs, but he looks adorable. He looks so cute, so much better than when he first came in. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get this video to at least 100 likes and 1,000 views. I will catch you guys in the next video. Love you guys.